My name's Peter Bazalgette, and my great-great-grandfather was a very famous civil engineer in the 19th century, in the Victorian era, and I'm very, very proud of him. Why am I sitting next to a toilet? Because the challenge that he had to overcome in 19th century London was all because of the humble water closet, the WC. Everybody started putting them in their houses in the 1830s. So people's effluent, people's excrement was flowing directly into the waterways for the first time of London, into the rivers, and then into the River Thames. People drew their drinking water out of the River Thames. They were drinking their own excrement. Yuck. But it was worse than that, because the excrement went up and down the Thames and couldn't escape. And in the 1830s, that was the year that a bacterium called cholera, which is spread by water, came for the first time. 1858 was an unusually hot summer. The river smelt awful. They called it the year of the Great Stink. Now, as we said, cholera is waterborne, but nobody knew that in those days. They thought cholera was spread through the smell in the air, the miasma. And guess what? That smell came up under the windows of the House of Commons. If you want action from politicians, affect them personally. They thought they were about to catch cholera. They said, okay, finally we have to do something about the terrible situation of London's water and the disease that's happening all across the capital. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Benjamin Disraeli, voted £3 million to my great-great-grandfather, Sir Joseph Bazalgette, who was chief engineer of the Metropolitan Board of Works. And he said, I can cure this, I have a plan. Hundreds of miles of Bazalgette sewers ran west to east across London, culminating here in this beautiful pumping station. And the reason for it was that the system used gravity. So when London's excrement arrived here, it was 40 foot underground, and these steam engines had to hold it and then pump it up to the surface and dump it in the River Thames nearby, which was wide enough to take the ordure out into the sea. As a result of this system, Bazalgette cured London of cholera. Now, cholera is still a great problem in many parts of the world and remains a challenge for civil engineers to this day. These beautiful beam engines were part of a system that had to deal with 2 billion litres of effluent a year when the system came into operation in 1865. That was for a population of 2.5 million. Bazalgette designed the sewage system for a population of 4.5 million, so he saw that London would grow. Today, the system looks after more than 8 million people, and even then it strains a bit. And that's why the Thames Tideway Tunnel is a brand new project being built at the moment, designed by civil engineers, to bring London into the 21st century. Because of his great achievements, my great-great-grandfather, Joseph William Bazalgette, was knighted, became Sir Joseph Bazalgette. He didn't just build the sewage system that cured London of disease, of cholera. He also designed the embankments along the river, which his sewers went into, but also the district line. He built bridges across the river. He laid out parks. He laid out new roads. In other words, he made London the city it is today. And it's not just a question of economics, but it is, because civil engineers really help drive economies. It's a question of quality of life, and it's a question of enriching all of our existences. So that's how one man, Joseph Bazalgette, improved the health and wealth of London, like many other civil engineers have done. And now we're asking you, are you going to step up and take up the challenge of being a civil engineer to improve the quality of our lives, to help drive our economy, and to enrich our society? It's a brilliant challenge. We hope you'll take it up.